Welcome to In Her Voice, a podcast to help you learn how to trust the most important person in your life, yourself. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am your host and fellow traveler as we explore what it means to soften your inner critic, listen to your inner voice, and give yourself permission to be deeply and wholly your wonderful, beautiful self. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, this is Kelly, and you are listening to In Her Voice. Thank you for being here. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who sent me a message or let me know that you listened to the last episode. It really means a lot to me when you reach out and you let me know that the topic that I've been talking about makes a difference to you, or that you're glad that there are new episodes. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful for you and for all of you that are here listening. And I feel like the topic that I talked about it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago, but that topic of softness really hit a chord with people. A lot of people have been sending me emails and DMs on Instagram and just connecting with me on their thoughts and how it made them feel. And I've also, interestingly enough, been seeing people that I'm not talking to talking about the same thing. And I have always felt that things come in cycles, ideas come in cycles. And right now, softness is here. And it's something that we can really dig in and explore. And so I wanted to explore a certain part of softness today with you, and that is softness and accountability. And I think that this is one of the trickiest spots, because when it comes to accountability, especially accountability with ourselves, I think that we are taught the only way to get stuff done is to be hard on ourselves. And we're taught this from day, one in school, that you have to, put your head down. It's all about discipline. It's all about doing what you say you're going to do. It's all about following through. And the problem with that approach is there's no room for listening to yourself. And so we're never taught how to do that. We're never taught how to make those decisions sort of like in game time. We can think about them before we set the goal or before we say we're going to do the thing. But like once we've started doing the thing, it doesn't feel to me like there's a lot of room for changing your mind, or for doing something different, or for setting aside a goal, because all of those would be considered soft. You're too soft on yourself. You're too easy on yourself. You got to be hard on yourself. Well, I'm here to start to change that dialogue and to change the conversation about what it looks like to be accountable to yourself. How do you follow through with something? Because we all want to follow through with things. How do you do that without being hard on yourself? It's a legit question. And it's a question that I'm still grappling with. I do not have all the answers. I'm not here to say I have all of the answers. I have thought a lot about it, and I have practiced this a lot. And I do feel like I'm on the path to understanding. So I think I have the secret. I haven't been able to completely 100% of the time implement the secret, but I think I know what it is. And that is, you have to trust yourself and be completely honest with yourself. You can't do one without the other. You can't trust yourself if you're not honest with yourself. And you can't be honest with yourself if you don't trust yourself. So that is what I think it means to be in alignment. And we're going to talk about this specifically when it comes to following through, to being accountable to yourself. So let's do an example. You set a goal to exercise 4 times a week. So I just randomly picked exercise. It could be anything that you're doing for yourself. It could be journaling. It could be meditation. It could be walking. whatever the thing is, reading, you pick. But you have decided, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to exercise 4 times a week, and that's my goal. And you get through the first 3 days because you're like on the high of, yes, I've set a new goal. I'm going to do it. And then the week is wrapping up and you still need to get that 4th day in and your feet are dragging and you just don't feel like doing it on the 4th day. Here is the part. This is the place where we can be hard on ourselves or we can begin to practice softness. And this is where the trust and the honesty come in. If you want to practice softness, you have to be also practicing trusting yourself and being 100% honest with yourself, not 99%, 100%. So what you can do when you get to that 4th day, or whatever the 4th day might look like for you, the day where you think, I'm not going to do the thing that I said I was going to do, ask yourself, why? Why don't I feel like exercising today? And then be honest when you answer that question. Maybe the honest answer is, I'm tired. I'm so tired today. And then you can ask yourself a follow-up question just to really help yourself be honest, right? I'm really tired today. Okay, is that really true? Yeah, it's really true. Okay, what is your body telling you? And you can go through these series of like digging whys. Is this true? What are you really hearing? What are the signals that your body is sending? And you can get to the true answer of that. Maybe you're really tired and you need to rest today. Maybe today is not the day to exercise because you're tired. Another answer that you might give to yourself when you ask yourself why is, I'm so busy, I don't have time to exercise today. And again, be honest with yourself. Is this really true? Is it really true that I don't have time today? What else am I going to be doing with my time? Is every minute of my time accounted for today? Is it that I just don't want to do that thing? Or is it true that I just don't have enough time? And you can, again, go through those questions and be honest with yourself, because sometimes we say we don't have time. When we do, we just want to spend that time doing a different thing. And that's okay. But be honest. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest. And I say this, not that the way that came out was sort of like chastising. It wasn't meant to be, because I lie to myself all the time. I convince myself all of the time that I'm too busy to do something, when the reality is I just don't want to do it. And so then I have to ask myself a different question, right? What's more important to me? Not doing it or doing it? How will I feel if I do it? Will it make me feel better, or will it take more out of me? Is this something that I really want to be doing? Do I really want to exercise 4 days a week? Or is it something I should be doing? Oh, with the dang shoulds again, right? The only way you can learn how to trust yourself and follow through on the things that are most important to you is to be honest with yourself. You learn to trust yourself by being honest with yourself. I feel like I'm just saying the same words over and over again, but it's so important and they're so intertwined. Trusting yourself is the most important thing that you can do, but you can't do that unless you give yourself an opportunity to do that by being honest with yourself. And sometimes the honest and true answer is you should not exercise, even if it doesn't meet your goal. This is a soft approach. A hard approach is I'm going to exercise no matter what, because that's what I said I was going to do, and I made a promise to myself, and I'm going to follow through. But in that moment, if you push through, you are not trusting yourself. You are not allowing you're not allowing yourself to listen to your inner voice, to your body, to the most important part of you. There's no trust. So it's tricky because we're taught we've got to do the thing. We've got to hit the goal. We have to say what we're going to do. do what we're going to say. Oh my gosh, my words, you guys. We have to do what we say we're going to do. That's what we're taught. But softness requires something different. And just because it's soft doesn't mean it's easy. Because it might require us to change our goals. It might require us to admit that that goal wasn't something that we really wanted in the first place. And those conversations with ourselves, I think, are the hardest ones. Because then, again, we have to be honest with ourselves about why. Why don't I want to do the thing that I thought I wanted to do? And when we approach those conversations with ourselves with grace and love, just like we would with a child or with a friend, there's room there. There's room to be yourself. There's room to love yourself where you are. And, I used to follow a lot of coaches and a lot of people in the personal development space. I really stepped back from following so many because over and over again, I felt the message was do the thing no matter what. And I don't think that's what we're here for. I don't think we're here solely to achieve. We are here for something bigger than that. We're here to live a life that is beautiful and wonderful. And if all we're doing is putting our head down and like blindly following the path that's laid before us, or even the path that we think we should be following, that is not a life. That is work. It's hard work. And I want something softer for you. So back to our example, sometimes the answer is no, I don't want to. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's going to help me feel the way I want to feel. It's so subtle. And I think that's what's challenging. We really want it to be very clear, and it's not. It's subtle. And we have to really ask ourselves the right questions, the powerful questions to get to the root of what we really want, of how we really want to feel, and of how to approach that with softness, with love, with grace, with understanding, with the knowing that we won't get it perfect, and to be okay with all of that. Always doing the thing, always following through without a deeper conversation is not trusting yourself. Pushing through just because you said you would isn't the way to love yourself. Loving yourself is big and it's wide. And there's not just one way to do that. And if you continue to push and to be hard on yourself, you will get things done. I have lived that life. You will get shit done. I promise you that. Will you feel good doing it? Maybe. Only you know the answer to that. But I think it's worth exploring. I think it's worth having a conversation with yourself about. And I'm going to say something possibly controversial, but that is, when you push through, when your body is saying no, when you do the thing just because you set the goal and that's the only reason that you're doing it, and you're not having this deeper conversation and giving yourself the opportunity to trust yourself, I believe you're actually betraying yourself when you do that. You're turning your back on what your body, on what your inner voice, on what your soul is asking of you. And I see people do that over and over and over again. You know why? Because they don't want to be the person that quits. They don't want to be the person that is soft. They don't want to be the person that doesn't follow through. If you need permission, I will give you permission. You are allowed to change your mind. You can change the way you think. You can change beliefs. You can change values. You are allowed. And when you start giving yourself that permission, you are going to start to feel such a release. You will not have to hold yourself so tightly anymore. You'll start to be able to love yourself. You'll start to be able to laugh at yourself. You'll start to be able to make mistakes and not feel like it's the end of the world. You'll be able to rest. You'll be able to take days off without feeling guilty. You'll be able to sit on the couch and do nothing and enjoy it. If these things sound like this mysterious fantasy world that you've never visited, I'm here to tell you that it is possible for you to live a life that is beautiful and rich and full, where you are successful and you still feel those things. It can happen. It's true. It really can happen. I promise. This is what softness looks and feels like. You know, hard. I don't need to describe that to you. I want you to sit in the softness and imagine that and think about how comfortable that would be. I'm thinking back to that soft couch. I just want to sink into it, right? You can sink into a life that is soft. And it requires you to be 100% honest with yourself. And it requires you to trust yourself. Yes, you can do hard things. I know you can. And sometimes those hard things include being honest and trusting, because the most important person you will ever trust in your whole entire life is you. If this is something that you think, I don't know how I can do that on my own, please reach out to me. Head on over to my website. You can see how to work with me there. The only way I'm working with people right now is through one-up idea hours. And the idea hour is your time and space to listen to your inner voice, to understand the next steps, to figure out if your goals make sense or if it's just something you're shoulding. I'm here for you. Check out my website, kellycover.com, or you can shoot me an email at kelly@kellycover.com. Softness is possible. Yes, you can have it. You can have it and still feel happy and still feel full and still feel beautiful and still feel worthy, because you are worthy.